Yeah, I just wanted to add a tiny little bit.
Sure, yeah, please, yeah.
So a lot of entrepreneurs usually launch a business in their, the field that they've studied or worked in. And I obviously worked in FMCG, but didn't come from a food background. So I think imposter syndrome, what I've dealt with is I'm not an expert in spices.
Right.
And I'm not an expert in food production. And I think I had to feel okay with not being an expert in that.
Sure.
And the reason why I'm okay now is selling spices, obviously, and seeing business growth. Short-term wise, I was satisfied, but I was like not feeling 100% fulfilled. And actually, late last year, got to the point of there must be more.
Right.
And I had just been working constantly and not really connecting with my family, with friends, just honestly just working on my business.
Right.
And I got to the point where I was getting resentful for Mingle.
Sure.
And I ended up deciding, you know what, I just need to take a step back.
Right.
And get back to what actually matters to me as Jordyn Evans. It sounded weird talking about myself in third person.
No, that's all right.
And I picked up the phone, and this was kind of a pivotal moment in my life and in my career with Mingle.
Right.
I picked up the phone and I called my grandma. And I said, Nan, I'm really sorry I haven't called you for 6 months. And the reality is you're not getting any younger. And I've just been really selfish. And I think as a business owner, you get quite selfish and driven by numbers, results. And I said, I really miss you. So can you come around, and I want to make you dinner, and I want to make family and friends a priority, and leave the office at an appropriate time. And she was so excited. She hadn't seen me for 6 months. So she came around with a bottle of champagne. I guarantee you there's a punchline here. This is a long story. But anyway, I made her a delicious, quick and easy meal using Mingle.
Of course.
And she's quite a plain eater. So she thought it was awesome. And I was like, it took 15 minutes. Like, it's nothing fancy. But for her, it was her granddaughter had created something that was tasty, flavoursome, and it was new for her.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and similar to how I, was brought up, I turned the TV off, I left the phone away from the table, and I just sat there and connected with my nan. And maybe 10 minutes went by, and I said, this is what life's about, and this is what Mingle's about.
Yeah.
It's not about spices for me.
Right.
It's about empowering people to create in the kitchen, and then that creation being a vehicle for people to connect.
Sure.
And 2 weeks after, I ended up flying to the US to go to the Chobani head office over in New York. And I arrived in LA, turned my phone on, and had found out that my grandma actually had passed away from a heart attack.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you. As much as I was upset, in that moment, I, one, realized how precious life was, but two, I realized that now the legacy that I want to leave for Mingle is what I shared with my grandma.
Right.
And I'm just really grateful that I had that last memory with her, and that message and that vision now I want to bring to life of, reframing the way people look at cooking. Yeah. And rather than seeing it as a chore, seeing it as an opportunity to connect. And now I'm like, it's so ironic that the name of my business is called Mingle.
It's come full circle.
I know. And it sounds a bit woo-woo, but I feel like Mingle chose me. Yeah. And it was I was meant to go through this journey of feeling like my business was quite one-dimensional and completely commercial, and it lacked that soul for me. And I am a passionate person. I am driven by wanting to create impact in this world. Right. And I now feel like seasonings right now is just the vehicle for me to have that impact.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an incredible story. Thank you for sharing it.
No worries.